All right. I want to start off by saying Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Shah. Koholo Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakat, Kodash. No honest pastor, elders, great millstone, we teach well. Peace, salutations to all you out in four corners of the earth. Peace, salutations, shalom to all you aqua, listening and learning. And to you speckle face, Akin and Aqua, just listening and learning in the four corners of the earth. Whatever heathen nation you may look like, shalom to you. A hearty shalom to you as well. All right. And right quick, I'm gonna be about 5 minutes, 10-minute video, but pull out two precepts. Uh yeah, Egypt's fighting against Egypt. All right. They're trying to throw Donald Trump in prison, lock him up so he can't run for president again because they don't want um Esau doesn't want certain side of Esau winning or want him coming to power because they feel like he'll start insurrection. All right, you can read that at Second Ezra 16 chapter, Second Ezra 15 chapter. He don't want even Second Ezra's the uprising of the people, Second Ezra's ninth chapter. He don't want the people. They don't. The elite don't want. The elite of Esau doesn't want his people, his base people rising up. The low level Edomites. He don't want them rising up. And Trump inspires them. He's their leader. He's their God. He's their power. He makes them feel powerful. When he was in office, they haven't felt so powerful. It made them feel like they was back in the 1800s, you know, early 1800s, the 1700s when they was coming into heavy power, when nobody could tell them what to do. Early 1900s, it felt like they were booming, you know. So they're trying to keep Trump down, to keep his insurrection down, to keep his followers, okay, the base of Esau. They're trying to keep them down. They don't want them to rise up because they know all the militias. They have to fight the militias, but this probably gonna rise them up anyway. Because at the end of the day, if they end up throwing Trump in jail, hey, it's a big possibility that Esau gonna rise up against the government. He's gonna rise up against his own. Egypt should fight Egypt. They're gonna fight within themselves. Okay. We go to Matthew 24:7. Okay. All right, but I'm not pulling that scripture right now. I'm just going two scriptures, right? I already called out a couple scriptures already, probably about 3-4 scriptures already, just called them out. But I'm gonna go here. First, I'm gonna go to this video, then I'm gonna go to my scripture and close out. Hey, this is a beautiful day we in. It's still tough, but shit, you see the end. You can see the end. All right, let me play this video.
We're learning new details this afternoon about that FBI raid earlier this week on former President Trump's Florida residence Mar-a-Lago, as Trump says he pleaded the fifth today in a separate, long-running New York civil investigation into his business dealings.
Mr. Trump, can we have a word? How do you feel, Mr. Trump? How do you feel?
That was the scene when the former president was arriving at the New York Attorney General Letitia James' office today to be questioned under oath. This probe involves allegations Trump's company inflated the value of assets like hotels and misled lenders and tax authorities. Now, Trump has denied wrongdoing, and today, the former president saying in a statement he declined to answer questions in that legal interview, invoking his right against self-incrimination. Well, in the past, Trump has said, if you're innocent, why would you plead the fifth? He now claims in that statement that he's being targeted and had, quote, no choice, casting it as part of a grander conspiracy. Now, this, as the president on his Truth Social site is speaking out about the FBI raid of his Florida residence. Now, this search warrant executed was part of an unrelated probe into whether he took classified records when he left the White House. Trump writes, everyone was asked to leave the premises. They wanted to be left alone without any witnesses to see what they were doing, taking, or hopefully not planting. Trump didn't provide any evidence for that claim. The execution of this search warrant prompted a furious response from a number of Republicans who've called it unfair and even suspicious.
It's unprecedented that you would go into a former president. Why wouldn't they just ask the president if they have something there that they want? he surely would have provided it to them. Why did they have to show up in the manner they did? Because this isn't the way they treated other people. This isn't the way they treated other people within their own party.
We want an inventory of what they actually took from the president's house, so we can see whether or not this actually even matches to what they said they went into the president's house for, and how many things they took that were actually related to the president.
See, this can incite a riot. Hey, they're mad. They're fuming. These are representatives, senators, state representatives, governors, and they're fuming. They're fuming because why? Because Trump is their guy. You know, his look was more stout than his fellows. You know, that's Donald Trump, man. You know, that's Donald Trump. Hold on, Salaki. Let me grab this right quick. I did say that I was just only going to do 2. Salaki. I did say I was just only going to do 2 scriptures. I called a couple scriptures out, but it's all right. All right, let me get this one. Yeah, that's what I want right there. Daniel 7 chapter. Where we at, baby? Daniel 7 and let me find it. Yeah, Con. This is Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom there fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And really, you know, Donald Trump, you know, he's a part of that system, that beast system, but he's that one that stood up and he was more stout. You know, he's more, you know, his persona, like Clinton, was different. Well, Bush had he was an asshole, but Trump's pride was totally different. You know, they run after Trump in a whole nother light. You know, Trump call out the worst of their people. He pull out the very worst of their people. Where you got Bush was still he's a part of the elite. Trump more so, you know, he calls on the basis of his people. You know, so he's that proud. He's very, very proud in being a low-level American. You know, that's the way he sees himself. You know, he doesn't really try to recognize himself as the elite. He recognizes himself the head of the lower class, but yet he's the head of them. You know, like he's like the eagle. He's very stout. You know, he's very fucking proud. His pride he exudes pride. Okay, it's just everything about him is prideful as fuck.
It's personal affairs, because that certainly is the highest level of concern here.
Now, Newsweek, citing 2 senior government officials, reports the raid was timed for when Trump was away from Mar-a-Lago, based on thinking it would lower the profile of the search. That doesn't seem to have been the case. Also, reporting the raid was based largely on information from an FBI confidential source who was able to identify what classified documents Trump was hiding and the location. Now, the Justice Department has not yet explained the basis for the raid or what laws may have been broken or what property was retrieved. The White House has said President Biden was not aware of the search or briefed on it. And take a look at this. Today, some Trump supporters turning out in Riverside, you see them there on the street, they are protesting Monday's move by the FBI. And we're hearing calls growing from largely GOP lawmakers for the DOJ to release information on the Monday raid. The agency has so far remained silent. That's the latest live in the news center. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, so right there, Salaki, I didn't mean. Damn, I didn't mean for that to go off. Damn, what the hell just happened? Let me stop sharing that. All right, but yeah, Salaki. Well, yeah, but damn, Salaki. 1 minute. Let me fix this back.
He now claims in that statement that he.
But yeah, so you know he got that more stout look, You know, the insurrection, you know, they're afraid of that. Where they at? See, this is what they don't want. See, this is what the elite is trying to put them in prison. It's like keep fucking up. I gotta throw it off. There you go. Shit. All right, this is what they don't want, right? They don't want this. They don't want the insurrectionists. They don't want his people, the basis of his people, and little Jake Punk ass out there. But they don't want his people, you know, rallying and fighting for him, because this really can cause a civil war in America, man. So if they end up throwing Trump in prison, if Trump end up getting time, hey, these new boys and Proud Boys and all them different military, hey man, they might come out and go to war for him, man. They might come out and go to war, you know, because this could start an insurrection. Okay, fucking with Trump can start that America fighting against America. Okay, which let me bring that out right quick. This is Isaiah chapter 19. It's verse 2. Well, I think I'm gonna start at verse 1. Okay, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, which is AKA America. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And Trump is an idol of Egypt. People they idolize him. They set Trump up. Esau has set Trump up as a god. Okay. The basis of man has set Trump up as a god. Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. That's right. The people gonna fucking lose their shit. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor. And this is what these Edomites is gonna be doing. This is why they trying to figure out how to deal with Trump, because here it go. They started to build up again, make America great again. You know, they got their flags going. You know, the megas, you know, whatever they call, you know, the megas. They ready. They're ready to come out and stand up for their God. You know, because they're trying to put their God in prison. You know, they ransacked this house. You know, they was complaining about how they went through Melania's closet. You know, so this right here, if they put that man in prison, and we could be looking at an insurrection, civil war in America, man, all over their God, because they're not having that. Okay. Everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And you go read Matthew 24:7. It says basically the same thing. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. All right, but that's the point on that. So let me go here to Matthew 12:26. And if Satan let me go here. Let me jump up. And 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Hey, check that levels before you roll. You gotta check that level, bro. All right, so take you some paper towel. Salaki. And Yahushua knew Salaki. This is Matthew 12:26. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So America can't stand anymore, because it's already a split. There's a split between Democrats and Republicans. There's a split between Donald Trump, Republicans, and the so-called and the Democrats, man. Right? There's the insurrectionist Republicans, right? The conservative, and then you got Republicans. So they're split within, even in their own factions. It's like with Democrats, you got the Democrats, and you got the blue blood Democrats, the blue dog, or whatever the fuck they call them. So it's already set up to be against another, like the Flavians and the patricians back in Rome. One, Rome fell. Why? Because they couldn't come to an agreement. Well, and then to their economic situation, they kept cutting on that gold coin, and they kept cutting it down till it was worth nothing. And and Jake came in and took over. But the point being is that this is going to happen all over again, man. Everything what was done yesterday should be done today, right? That's Ecclesiastes, right? It's going to happen. It's a repeat. Life is a repeat. This first chapter, it's a repeat of itself, right? It's all going to repeat. It's just different, shit just looks different, but it's the same thing that's happened before in times past. Okay, and if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore, they shall be your judges. That's right, and they're going to judge their own people. But if I cast out devils by the spirit of Yahweh, by the spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of Yahweh is come unto you, and that's to the Israelites. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods except he first bind the strong man? That's right. And who's going to bind the strong man? It's going to start with his people, his own people, man. These so-called white people, these Edomites, Esau, Edom, they're going to start it. They're going to spoil their own people. They're going to go against their own people. They was already doing it. You got the what they call NEFTA. What is it called? NEFTA against them all in Republic. I can't think of the name they call them damn Republicans. But against them Republicans, man, was out there, man. All right. They're already against each other. The militias is ready to go against the United States government of America. They're already ready to blow holes in each other. Right. So all they just need is they need that fire. They need that spark to light that fire. Right. And who's that spark? It's Trump, man. Trump bring out the worst in the people. He brought out the worst of his people. And in his people, he brought out the worst of Esau. He took us back to what Esau really was. Esau started showing their fangs. They started showing their hate, who they really are, how they really feel. Okay. They were emboldened by that devil. Okay. Because why? The lesser of them could come out and say what they really feel. 29. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? And that's right. That strong man gonna be bound. The binding gonna be starting with these insurrections. It's gonna be starting with Donald Trump's flunkies. Okay. Hey, look. So that was all. I just want to come out with something real quick, man. Hey, be ready, be willing, be vigilant. Know what time we is. Be diligent. Measure the times. Measure the times. Measure the times. It's that time. Hey, so I'm Yaquan from YSO, Yahweh Sanctified One. I want to say Shalom and above. Death to America, death to this wicked ass kingdom. Down with this wicked ass kingdom. Shalom.